Dear children, now we are going to learn the phases of the moon. We can see the moon in the sky because it reflects the light of the sun. The moon seems to change its shape. This is because as it orbits the earth, we know that moon is the natural satellite of earth. It keeps on moving around the earth. So different parts of the side facing us are reflected by the sun's light. Then we are able to see. The changes in different shapes of the moon are seen from the earth are called phases of the moon. Dear children, now you know that what is phases of moon. And these phases of moon having 5 steps. Let us see the five steps of moon. First one is new moon. At night, some days you are not able to see the moon in the sky, but some days you are seeing different shapes of moon. Sometimes very small, sometimes little big, sometimes full moon is there. So these are the different shapes of moon. So first let us see the new moon. When the side of the moon facing the earth gets no sunlight, in that day we cannot see the moon. That is known as new moon. After that, the moon keeps on moving along the orbit and a small portion facing the earth gets sunlight and we are able to see a small portion of moon that is known as crescent moon. After crescent moon, we are able to see half of the moon that is known as half moon. After half moon, it slowly the size increasing and it becomes 3/4 of the moon that is known as gibbous moon. After gibbous moon, the entire side facing the earth gets sunlight and we are able to see the full moon. So from new moon to full moon, it takes 14 days. And again it takes another 14 days to change from full moon to new moon. So this cycle is going on. In that way, the moon takes 28 days to complete one revolution around the earth. Okay children, in this picture you are able to see the 5 different shapes of moon. The first one is new moon. That day we are not able to see the moon. After new moon, the second number is there, that is crescent moon. A small portion only we are seeing that day. And number 3, that is half of the moon is visible. Next is the 3/4 of the moon, that is the gibbous moon. After that, the full moon. So from number 1 to number 5, these 5 stages, changing from 1 to 5, this takes place within 14 days. And again 5 full moon to gibbous moon, then gibbous to half moon, half to crescent moon, then crescent moon to new moon. Again 14 days. That already we learned. Yes, we learned the different phases of moon. In that case, we learned that the full moon to new moon. When the moon is changing from full moon to new moon, there are 5 steps are there that already we know. In that case, the size of the moon is changing from big size to small size. That is known as waning. That takes 14 days. The next 14 days, that is the moon is changing from new moon to full moon. In that case, the shape changing from small size to big size, and that is known as waxing. Now we are going to learn an interesting topic, that is eclipse. Before starting eclipse, we want to learn what is shadow. Do you know how to form a shadow? Wait, I will tell you. First you take a torch or candle. Then shine a torch on the wall and place your hand in between. Then you see a shadow on the wall. In the same way, the moon and the earth cast their shadow in space when sunlight falls on them. So, the moon plays an important role in the formation of eclipse. When light falls on an opaque object, its shadow is formed. Now, we want to know what is opaque object. Opaque object means which will not allow the light to pass through it. If when you are keeping your hand in between the light, then the hand is an opaque object. So it's blocking the light and the shadow of your hand is formed on the wall. Any object you can keep in between the flow of light. That is called object which will block the sunlight or the light of the torch. That is known as opaque object. The earth and the moon are opaque objects and cast shadows in the space. When the sun, the moon and the earth come in a straight line, then eclipse occur. So children, there are two kinds of eclipse, that is solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Solar eclipse occur at daytime and lunar eclipse occur at night time. Solar eclipse will occur when the moon casts a shadow on the earth, causing the sun to go dark. Means the moon is blocking the sun. Here you can see SME is there and in the middle M is there. M means moon. When the moon comes in between sun and earth. In lunar eclipse, when the earth casts a shadow on the moon and causing the moon to go dark. That is SEM. E means earth. Now let us see the solar eclipse. When the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, in this case, the moon will cast its shadow on the earth and the people on the earth will not see the sun for some time. And it is known as total solar eclipse. When the moon hides only a part of the sun, then it is known as partial solar eclipse. Look at the picture. Here you can see that the sun, moon and earth. Moon is in the middle of sun and earth. And the moon is casting its shadow on the earth. So the people, those who are living in that area, they are not able to see the sun. And in this shadow, you can see two kinds of shadows. One is dark shadow and one is light shadow. The dark shadow is known as umbra and the light shadow is known as penumbra. In the umbra regions, they are not at all seeing the sun. But the penumbra regions, they are slightly seeing the sun. So this is about solar eclipse. And solar eclipse occurs on a new moon day. The next is lunar eclipse. When the earth comes in between the moon and the sun is called lunar eclipse. In this case, the earth cuts off the light reaching the moon from the sun. It is totally blocking the sunlight. The moon is completely hidden by dark shadow of the earth. Then the people on the earth cannot see the moon at all. And this is known as total lunar eclipse. When the moon is partially hidden by the dark shadow of the earth, it is known as partial lunar eclipse. In this picture, you can see that sun, earth and moon. When the earth is in between sun and moon and the earth is completely blocking the sunlight. That's why the people on earth in that area, they are not able to see the moon. And this lunar eclipse occurs only on a full moon night. Now we are going to learn artificial satellites. You know that moon is the only natural satellite of Earth. Then what is satellite? Satellite is an object that goes around a star or a planet. Natural satellites of planets are called moon, and Earth has only one moon. Now, there are many man-made objects which moves around the Earth are called artificial satellites, and these are sent by rockets in the space. Look at the picture. This is the first man-made satellite. The first man-made satellite was Sputnik 1. It was sent into space by the USSR on 4th October 1957. Since then, many countries have sent their satellites into space. Here you can see India's first satellite, that is Iisjeddah. It was launched on 19th April 1975. India has launched many artificial satellites like Rohini, INSAT 1B, INSAT 1A, etc. Uses of artificial satellites. Satellites have been put into orbit around the Earth by rockets. Communication satellites, they are used for communication like relay television and radio programs. At the same time, they are used for sending telephone signals to far off places. Then weather satellites, they are used to study atmospheric conditions from above and to forecast weather. Satellites are used to photograph Earth from above and give valuable information. Some satellites are used to study other stars and planets. Same time, they are used by ships and planes to help them to navigate. Children, do you know what is Chandrayaan? India launched a spacecraft called Chandrayaan 1 on 22nd October 2008 from Sriharikota. It was successfully placed in the Earth's orbit. Look at the picture, you can see that the different stages, how it is moving. From the Earth's orbit, it was switched into Moon's orbit. Then the spacecraft slowed down for the Moon's gravity and gradually lowered the speed to 100 km and it entered into the polar orbit of the Moon. Chandrayaan 1 was launched by ISRO. It means Indian Space Research Organization. With this, we completed our